Hey everybody, welcome back to Battle Ready Inc. So we're back for another week of just insight on how progressing towards Nats is going. This is our Road to Nats series. So we had another week of round of playtesting. This time we were looking at the EX3 format instead of the potential BT11. Just if you're not following the series so far, we're alternating week by week on playtesting because we're unsure if BT11 will be legal. If there is even a 1 week delay on BT11 getting here, then it's probably just going to be not valid, not legal. It's literally, I think, going to be that down to the wire. I think even EX3 for us was 2 weeks delayed, so it's not that far-fetched in this game for there to be a delay. So I think it's important to playtest both. So where am I at on playtesting for EX3? What have I started to settle on? So we've already kind of looked at where I fit the format to be, and it's really down to all these super speedy decks, right? The multiple different avenues you can go. I don't think Mulligan will be allowed for Nats. I really don't. So that throws a lot of decks out the window that were really doing really well in Ultimate Cups and things, simply because Mulligan was allowed in those tournaments. Once Mulligan got taken away and we're back to normal regionals, looking at those top results, we see a big difference in list building. It's a lot more aggro decks topping rather than these combo decks. You don't really see the grandest decks anymore topping without mulligans. You don't see Examon topping without mulligans. Simply because they can't keep up with these other decks in the format. So I think there's going to be a big part of it. But you know what always works for these really aggro decks for me? Security control. Yes, so here we go. Up on the screen for you guys, I've got my security control deck that I am currently testing and just kind of playing around with some different ideas for it, things like that. A little different from what I normally go with. Particularly on the Tamer, I went with the TK Kari instead of my normal just Memory Fixer Kari. The Memory Fixer Kari is really good when you do a lot of recovery through multiple different means in this deck, and you can kind of shortchange your opponent a little bit. But most of the time they've got a Memory Fixer anyways, so it's really hard. At most, the only value I'd ever really get out of Kari is if I would hard play a Magna for 7 and suspend the Kari to gain 1 back and put them at 3, essentially making my Magna Angemon a 6 play cost instead of a 7. That was almost pretty much the only value I ever got out of Kari, besides of course being a Memory Fixer. However, the TK in Kari is more of a mind game thing because my opponent never wants to just start swinging in too early, too soon, getting my security down below theirs. It always keeps us at this nice, even threshold of, don't attack me, I won't attack you, and we're just going to keep building, and, that's how it be. And it's great for that because the second they put me lower, I can start popping off and doing double recovery, all kinds of crazy stuff during my turn if they give me too much memory. So it's been really nice so far in testing with the TK Kari over just the Memory Fixer Kari. Another one is I have bumped my Schwartz here up to the max of 4, and honestly it's been wonderful, absolutely wonderful. I mean, half the time even a 6 play cost delete 1 level 5 is worth it, and I've almost always got 2 or 3 tamers on board, so getting multiple pops is super easy on this, and it's a fabulous counter to Where Garurumon, okay, or Garurumon X in general, simply because they get 2 of their 3 of their total security checks in 1 turn off of a level 5, and so that's 3 chances for Schwartz to get hit in security. Absolutely devastating. The match, or the single game I want to show you guys today, is against Bloomlord, and Bloomlord loves to go wide as well, and Schwartz absolutely devastates that deck as well. You just completely clear their whole field, and they lose a ton of value. They don't get any of those big bonuses anymore off the Bloom or the Hydramon. They don't, because they need all those suspended bodies on field, and if they don't have those, they lose a lot of value on those megas. And then you just go around and pop the megas, and it's just completely, utterly like shuts them down. So really enjoying the deck so far. We've got lots of removal here in the form of Chaos Degradation, as well as the Lone Key here. It's been pretty solid. I've actually enjoyed putting this in my deck. The -12k isn't always enough. Most of the time it's fine, but occasionally, like against Bloom and things like that, there's some 13ks floating around, which is kind of frustrating to deal with. But just being able to remove a card or remove a body off field with the second effect is super powerful, especially late game. I've kind of come to the realization that this is a deck out deck. I'm just here to survive and make my opponents deck themselves out. And so far, I've literally won every single game. I'm not even joking. Every single game I've won so far with this deck has been because my opponent decked themselves. Yeah. So we just stall out. We have tons of removal. Our opponent just tries and tries and tries to do stuff, and we just shut them down constantly, clearing their board, all that stuff, and then just tons of recovery so they can just never get anywhere against us. The 4 Karis, the TK and Karis as well, they never want to put us too low, but then the 4 Karis on field, like, they have a memory fixer. Okay, they swing, they get 1 check, suspend 4 Karis, boom, it's my turn again. What do you do against that? It's chip damage, right? You're hitting me 1 check every single one of your turns, and then I just play a recovery, use 4 Mimis, and it's a super cheap recovery, especially if it's Flame Hellscythe. I'm also popping a body and playing my Magna Angemons out there, getting that recovery. Absolutely crazy. I did put in the Maycrackmon over the Angelomon, which is a little different from what a lot of people are doing. Couple different reasons, just some odd things that were really annoying. I think it's, what is it? It's the new rookie that Green got, right? What doesn't allow you to play Digimon off of effects. That's super brutal against Flame Hellscythe, because Flame Hellscythe, it doesn't delete the rookie until after the card finishes resolving. DP minus, and then do the rest of your effect. Then Game Mechanics deletes the rookie, so you don't actually get to play anything off your Flame Hellscythe. Super, super bad. So I went with the Maycrack to deal with that, as well as just kind of, clear a couple little bodies off field. I don't need to play a Schwartz for 6 just to pop 1 rookie, right? I can just slam down a Maycrack and pass my turn. This is a good, just simple, easy toss-out card, just here and there, not a big deal to get a pop. As well as just getting a body in field and rotation. Also, it's a great Evo target for fall down mode here, because I get the recovery and I get the pop. Level 4 or lower of my opponent's Digimon. Getting double value out of fall down mode is kind of rare. So I've actually really enjoyed being able to go on top of the Maycrack with the Ophani. And everything else in the deck's pretty much straightforward. A lot of stuff that we've seen just 100 times. The recycle from the Avenged Kidmon, so you don't deck yourself. The only thing I'm going back and forth right now on is, do I run 3 Maycrack, 2 Death X, or do I run 2 Maycrack and 3 Death X? I don't know what I said there, but it's which one do I want to run 3 of and which one do I want to run 2 of. That is literally the only thing in the deck that I can't decide on. Everything else just feels so good. I'm absolutely in love with this deck and where it's at. Also, I've been trying the Viximon out. I did get that one wrong here. I am down to 1 Upa currently, and trying out the Viximon for a rookie, just so I can promote up the Salamon, and then just start slamming down some option cards with the Mimis, just reducing it. I get some really nice draw power out of the Viximon, so that's been pretty nice as well. I still need to do more testing in it. I haven't played any what felt like super grindy games yet. I still need to test against some other decks as well. But so far, Viximon's been pretty cool. I don't know if I'll stick with it or not, because I really like to attack with the Salamon. Like when I'm at 3 or less, start swinging with the Salamons and getting that draw off the Upa and the recovery off the Salamon. I don't typically promote up the Salamons before that. So we'll just kind of have to keep playing around with it, see what I like the most, Viximon or Upamon. Either way, it's still been solid though. No complaints, that's for sure. All right, so here's the match that I had recorded. Let me switch this over here. So we got Bloom versus my security control deck here. Playing it really, really slow here. So we've seen that the TK card come out first turn. Instantly, my opponent doesn't want to swing with that Palmon or anything like that. Doesn't want to get any chip damage in because that instantly puts them at a disadvantage. So they are choosing just to go for the consistency cards here, searching, digging, all that sort of stuff. So Evo's into the Togemon to reveal 3 at a level 5 or higher. And then we're just going to keep playing it slow here, playing out the Kari, getting the Kari in rotation, so that's another factor of why they don't want to just start swinging in randomly against us, because not only are they going to start giving us more memory off of the TK Kari, but also they're going to lose memory because of the regular purple Kari as well. So just another reason for them to want to play slow against us. So they got to be very careful in this matchup. I think this is an extremely difficult matchup. For them. It might not feel like it at first, but we'll see some definitely some big plays here that'll matter. So here they're going for the green memory boost here to just kind of start setting up, making sure they got all their pieces, got the memory they need, all that sort of thing. So that way when they decide to pop off, they can really, really start to pop off here. And then for us, we're just playing another Kari. It's pretty brutal. I opened so many Karis in this game. So here they're playing out the Palmon, getting this search, getting the double hit off of it. Always nice when you can add 2 off of Palmon. The fairy and the plant or veggie. Pretty good stuff there. So definitely one of those situations where you don't want to shotgun out too fast here. If you don't think you'll be able to immediately get a play, don't go for it. And that's what they did. They're holding off, getting even more pieces here. Just playing out another green memory boost to give them a little bit of extra memory to handle dealing with all those Karis. So kicking it back over to me at 2 memory, playing out a third Kari, putting them to 1 memory, exactly where I want them to be, especially with all those Karis. They really don't want to swing in right now because they're going to be basically giving up 5 memory worth of, memory. Here we're going to see that Palmon getting played off of this, the Sunflower Mon. So their field is absolutely massive. So once they do decide to finally start going in, they're going to be in a really good spot here. Here they're using the level 5, using the Digizorption here to go into Blossom Mon, suspending that Palmon, getting a pretty good field going here. So might be ready to start making some plays. Okay, using the level 5's ability there to suspend the Palmon to play the Sunflower for free. You'll lose out that when Digivolving effect. A little unfortunate, but a very nice board though. A very, very nice board for sure. Going with the Samadhi Santi there. Suspend another target. And then suspend one of the Karis, which actually does turn one of our Karis off here, which is pretty brutal. Bloom coming down. Finally though, going to gain all this memory back. Gain them 6 memory. Oh, it's one of the inheritables gives them a bonus. That's what it was. But then the most brutal thing, right? They swing in, they hit the Schwartz. Like the big reason that we're playing that, and I did have some clarification here. Yeah, once they lose the bodies, they lose that security attack plus. So they don't keep it for the rest of the turn. It's just whatever it's active. So like that was so brutal. The first card that they check was that absolutely devastating. And then the car is also. They lost 2 memory off that, and now they're losing memory because our TK and Kari is now live because they finally swung in. They were expecting a bigger hit, and then we're just going to drop the Chaos Degradation here, put it through the bottom of their security so they're not going to see it. Completely cleared their board in 1 turn. How brutal is that? Yeah, so yeah, they're playing out the Poromon there, which I was a little worried about at first because it turns off my Flame Hellsize a little bit, but then immediately Digivolved on top of it. So seeing a little bit of Digizorption. They're getting immediately back into another stack. Another super wide board in 1 turn. What do we do? Put them at 5 memory there. So, I mean, they're definitely taking advantage of that instantly. I mean, that's a big board considering 5 memory is all we gave them, and that's what they got back. And then, so yeah, Bloom will come down, gain the memory back, but then we'll gain memory because of the TK and Kari being at a lower security than them. So slow on my turn. I've barely done anything so far. Finally, we see at least a Magna Angemon in play. I needed to get one in play simply because I didn't have anything in trash, and I need to start making sure my health sites are online. If my health sites aren't online, because I got nothing in trash, that feels like really bad, especially if they get hit in security. Also, putting our security back up to even here, I think is also kind of a good fake out, again, because of that TK Kari, that he might feel less inclined to want to swing in and lower me back. It's like, I've got this as an excuse. Also, he suspended the wrong thing. He switched that back, went for the red veggie instead. So then going for the hidden potential discovered here, going into high oh, don't say it, Chase. Hydramon there. So gaining a little bit of extra bonus memory there. Suspending my Magna Angemon, which will get, I believe, bottom decked because of the Hydramon's effect. Gets this bottom decked one of my suspended Digimon at the end of its turn. So that's also super annoying. And it actually causes me to misplay a little bit later because I think I have one in trash already, but it was actually bottom decked. And they're just clarifying that it does bottom deck. Played out the Mimi there. Chose not to swing instead, just so that way I don't get the value off the TK and Kari. Just setting up for future big turns here. So it makes me have to rethink my strategy here. They got 2 Megas on board, but there we got the 4th Kari. So even with their Memory Fixer in play, 4 Karis is brutal. So every time they attack, basically they will pass turn, as long as I don't give them extra memory, or they don't have a memory boost, which they've used several so far, so they might not have any left. They do have the Argomon effects as well. I think that's what we were just adding there, was the Argomon on the unsuspend from the Bloom Lord. Here we're seeing the level 5 come down, suspending itself to play out the rookie, and then evoing the Sunflowermon. And then using Sunflowermon to suspend Palmon to play out the Veggie for free. So back to an instant, massive, terrifying board. Evoing into the Bloom here. Suspending the Hydra, draws for the Evo. And then it's going to gain that memory back. Not as big of a memory back as before, but does unsuspend itself, which is pretty crucial. Debating on that swing or not, does decide to go for it for multiple checks here. Suspend those Karis to go ahead and pass that turn. What is it, 2 checks here? There's a Mimi in play. And then I gain the 2 off the TK Kari. So now we got a Mimi live as well. Go ahead and hash that baby. I've got the TK and Kari, but you never know. Maybe it gets deleted or something. You never know with these sorts of things. But go ahead and get that in rotation. We haven't seen a Salamon yet in hand for an extra bit of draw. But here we're at that perfect 3. Mwah! The 3 here. So minus 12k on the Bloom, and then put the Hydramon on top of security. So clear 2 of their big bodies instantly. Well, golly, that feels so good. And they're just at 3 memory. Again, they're still at their 3 from their Mimi there. Our Mimi was able to, make that a little bit cheaper, a little bit more affordable. So, again, as soon as they swing, they're passing turn. So it's very good for us that we can, hold them off in this sort of situation. Cherrymon there coming down for a little bit of defense. Not that, we're worried about putting up too much offense against them there. Their deck is starting to get a little low. With all these Evos, they do an insane amount of draws. Swinging with the Bloom. Ooh, hits into the purple option again. Completely clears their board. We have 6 Tamers in play. That's every level 5 getting clear, or level 5 or lower getting cleared off their field. And once again, all they have is a single Bloom. And then getting our 2 off the TK Kari, putting us at 6. Gonna play there we go, get that recovery, reinforcing memory boost there. Essentially a extra holy wave, a holy wave where you get to pick 1 card to hand, 1 card to security. Very powerful. So putting the holy wave in security, which is a guaranteed another recovery once it gets hit. Debating what we do here. Do we shotgun out a big removal option, give them too much memory, but they don't have anything in raising area. They're out of eggs. Anything they start playing, they start to just hard play at this point, which is really going to start slowing them down. But instead, just going for the TK Kari here. They can't realistically kill us because they've got no babies that they can promote. Playing out the Palmon, it looks like they got 2 cards left in deck. Yeah, they're definitely like gonna have to do something crazy here. And then going for the swing there, so just the 1 check, the bloom, that'll pass it, putting us to a hefty amount. So next turn is the turn where they have to basically just completely and totally like pop off. They got 2 bodies in play. They're gonna need some hecka memory, that's for sure. Oof. And it just instantly got harder there. We see the Magna Angemon. And I believe this is where the misplay comes up. I think I play Flame Hellscythe here. Because I thought that I'd played a Magna Angemon earlier in the game. I thought it had been deleted, so I thought it was in the trash. So yeah, play that Flame Hellscythe, making sure that they don't get too high. And then I'm like, oh, I guess I don't. Well, at least I have a Salamon I can play. I'm at 3 security, so I could get some value off that Salamon next turn if I need to, if there is another turn. But that's going to do it. They're going to swing into the Death X and scoop it up after that. The will die to the Bloom. And yeah, so that is our matchup against Bloom in a nutshell. That's pretty much how it pretty much always plays out, is we just continuously keep clearing our board with the Schwartz, which is why we play 4 of that card now. Absolutely incredible for these types of matchups. Just not a problem at all. And we do all these things to make sure that they can never like OTK us or anything like that. They get, a couple checks, we recover. They can never seem to kill us. And that's the big thing here, is every single round you recover, so you're always at 1 security, and they swing, even if they've got plus a bajillion security on their Bloom, they hit that security and we suspend the Karis and it passes turn back to us. All we need to do is a single recovery. And it's a never-ending loop. And they basically just burn through their resources on this never-ending loop of swing, hit 1 security, pass turn back to us. We recover 1, they swing, we use the Karis and put it back to us on 1 again. The trick is, though, having like enough memes out there to make sure that your option cards for recovery aren't putting them over 3, right? Because if the second they get more than 3 memory in a turn, that's going to be multiple swings. That's the 4 Karis won't be enough at that point. So you just got to really kind of be careful with it. And again, if all that recovery, as many option cards as we are playing, like removal options, it's we should be able to get some good hits in security between the Flame Hellscythe, the Chaos Degradation, the Lonky, the 4 Schwartz here as well, right? So that's 16 removal cards that we're playing. Then some of them double for other things as well, like the Flame Hellscythe also gets us a recovery. The Lonky, it can be a potential double hit, and which we saw play. It factors in, that double hit. It's almost like we're playing 20 removals at that point. It's insane. And then that's just the options. We still have the Death X, Avenged Kid, the May Cracks, right? Even the Fonimons in the right situations. This deck has an insane amount of recovery and removal. Man, I love this deck. And I understand totally why people hate it. It is super frustrating to deal with. It is a nightmare to just never feel like you're doing anything, even though you feel like you're just absolutely crushing it. But then you're just like, why am I not getting anywhere? It is annoying. It is annoying. But I have a blast playing it, though. So it's kind of awkward. It really is. Yeah, I don't know how to put it, but still love this deck. If you got any input on if you're playing it, on what you're running, or any improvements you think, the Lonky was definitely a great recommendation from several of you guys that were commenting on a previous video. It was a great addition. I'm glad I made the switch. But yeah, if you got any more recommendations, definitely throw them my way. I'd love to hear it. Next week we go back to fighting Black War Greymon X, and I think I'm going to bring this deck to fight it. We'll see how it goes. I did get a match in against Commandramon, so you'll see that next week. The Commandramon versus this full match next week. And then the week after that, yeah, we'll do some Black War Greymon X testing again, throw this against it, see how it goes. I think it's going to be a brutal matchup. It's super tough because they don't have to check any of my security. They just get to trash it. So that's very, very frustrating. And they trash it during my turn. So, like, it kind of throws off the whole Kari vibe there of, oh, you trash it during my own turn, so I can't pass turn back to me. Yeah, we'll see how that matchup goes. It's definitely going to be a tough one.